Just what can I watch without breaking the law, without having to pay for the TV license? And in fairness, there's actually quite a lot. Firstly, we'll kick off by noting the do not watch channels. These are the ones you need to avoid like the plague, so you don't get caught out. Definitely worth knowing. Then we'll have a quick look at digital spying, the truth about how they can catch you out in a digital age, because they don't need detector vans anymore. Thirdly, we'll move on to the BBC YouTube invasion, which, in case you haven't noticed yet, there's going to be in the region of about 50 new YouTube channels, all run by the BBC, which could be a viewer's legal minefield if you don't know what to look out for. And finally, we'll run through all those channels you can watch without a TV license. Granted, some need subscriptions, but some are free that you can watch anytime now, so that you can save that £180 a year and spend it on exactly what you want to, not what the government tells you to. So let's dive in. The government says the TV licence funds the BBC, which is the cornerstone of British democracy. But to so many members of the general public, it's merely an unwanted TV tax for channels that they don't even watch half the time. But here is the legal reality of it. Many people are paying the £180 a year out of pure fear of getting caught not paying it, out of necessity, not by choice. So let's get educated so you can find out what you can watch and what you can't watch without a TV licence. Let's kick off with what you can't watch. Under Section 363 of the Communications Act 2003, the law doesn't care which channels you like. It cares about the BBC and live TV or simultaneous viewing, which basically means if you're watching a programme at the same time or thereabouts as it is being broadcast to the public. And it can be broadcast from anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter. You're the person receiving the broadcast. That's how the law works. That's the trigger phrase, receiving a broadcast. That's what makes it live TV. And live TV on any electronic device, so we're not talking just your big screen TV in your living room. If you're on your tablet in the park watching Sky News live, or watching ITV1 live while you're travelling on the bus, or even Eurosport broadcasting a live match from overseas, if you're receiving it in the UK, you're legally obliged to have a TV licence. Now to me that just doesn't seem fair, especially as the international trap is the one that shocks most people. If you watch a live news feed from CNN, or a live football match broadcast from Italy, for example, even if you watch it via a streaming app as opposed to on an actual television, the 2004 licensing regulations state that you need a UK TV licence. Why? Because you're receiving that broadcast in the UK, and you're receiving it at the same time as broadcast or thereabouts, so it is watching live. It's not about where the broadcast's from, it's not about which network it's broadcast by. If you're receiving that broadcast, technically you're liable for a licence in the UK. So that's the live TV big no-no. Then there's the iPlayer trap. BBC iPlayer currently remains the only all-or-nothing app, so unless you want to pay for a TV licence, don't use it at all, anywhere at all, because simply by watching one show on BBC iPlayer, you're liable for a licence. You need a licence for live BBC, catch-up BBC, BBC On Demand, and even the 40-year-old archive shows that you all love if you watch it on BBC iPlayer. So if you don't want to pay for the licence, best just avoid BBC iPlayer altogether. Okay, moving on. So just how do they catch you in the digital age? If you're sat in the park, streaming a live football match from Italy on your mobile phone, how are they going to find out? Well, we've all heard the stories about detector vans, but in 2026, those detector vans are fundamentally museum pieces now. Today, all enforcement is data-driven. The BBC has moved to direct account linking, so when you sign into an iPlayer account to actually watch something, the data is cross-referenced with the National Address Database to see whether that address is registered as no licence needed or is an address without an active TV licence. So when you log in, you just sent a digital flare straight to the TV licensing enforcement agencies. You may as well just put a big sign up on your home saying, watching BBC without a licence. So let's think about YouTube. This one's especially important to me. This is where it gets interesting, because yes, in certain situations, you are expected to pay for a TV licence to watch certain shows and channels on YouTube. Yes, I know, it's unbelievable, isn't it? But not my channel, thankfully, so stay with me a little bit longer and we'll get through this. The BBC is currently undergoing its YouTube First strategy, launching up to 50 new channels of content across YouTube. A lot of you may know this already, so I apologise if I'm preaching to the choir, but let's think about it in a little bit more depth, because likely some of their channels will have on-demand content and some of it will broadcast live content. So if you subscribe to the BBC channel, and it's a channel that may promote live content at some point, even if it's on demand when you subscribe, when you get your notification through and you click on it to watch that show, assuming it's on demand, it may well be a live show. So you could end up getting caught out that way. I don't know if they're going to do it like that, but that's a possibility. And in fairness, by most likely promoting a mixture of on-demand shows and live content across up to 50 different channels, the BBC's aim is probably to confuse people into just saying, do you know what? I think it's easier to pay for the license. I don't want to get caught out. That's probably what the government's hoping. But whatever you do, beware of the live stream trap. If the BBC or Sky News or any other recognised broadcasting service starts a live stream and you watch it as it happens, that is legally a live broadcast, and you're back in the TV licence zone. So what about your favourite independent YouTube creators? We know pre-recorded shows and on-demand shows are okay to watch without a licence, but what about live streams by non-broadcast companies? Well, thankfully, at present, you can watch YouTuber live streams all day long. But you don't want to pay for the TV licence, so yes, you can continue to do that. Fundamentally because we aren't broadcasting services under the Act of Parliament, so we're legally exempt from being included. At the moment, we are what you would say the digital resistance to the TV licence. So finally, just what can you watch if you don't want to pay for a TV licence? If you're a TV or movie buff, or you just like settling down with your favourite show in the evening, just how do you live in a data-driven society and continue with your evening entertainment lifestyle without having to pay for a TV licence? Fundamentally, you embrace the on-demand features, along with the content creators on YouTube, along with other platforms, and of course, there's always DVDs. Basically, if it's not BBC iPlayer, and it's not being broadcast live as you watch it, or record it, because you're not allowed to record it and watch it later without a licence, then it's okay to watch without the £180 TV licensing fee. Plus then, at least if you have to pay for visual entertainment, at least by using a streaming service of your choice, you actually get a choice of who you want to subscribe to and who you want to give your hard-earned money to. And it's not a mandatory fee forced on you by the government. So, to list a few, just remember, no live broadcasts, because even some of these services show live broadcasts now for certain events and other shows. You can watch full movies here on YouTube. Yes, if you search or look in the movie section, you will find full, normal Hollywood-made movies on YouTube, free of charge. Yes, you get the ads, but you don't have to pay. Then there's ITVX on demand. Obviously not the live shows, but on demand, no problem. Now TV, entertainment, movies or sport, again, no live shows if there's any sports ones, and obviously there is a subscription fee to pay, but it's less than what the TV license fee is. Any international on-demand channels, so if your favourite channel comes from India or America and it does on-demand shows, you can watch that without a TV licence. Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Channel 4 on demand, My5 catch-up and box sets, all independent creators and on-demand clips on YouTube, Amazon Prime movies, with the exception of any live events they might be showing, and of course S4C Click, if you enjoy the on-demand Welsh content. But please bear in mind, even with S4C, if you watch anything live across any network, you are supposed to have a TV licence, so avoid the live stuff and avoid anything BBC, especially BBC iPlayer. If there are certain shows that you absolutely adore, the hack is simple. Wait 30 minutes until after the show started, or until it's released on demand, and then pick the show up on demand as soon as you can after the show's been aired. If you're not watching it live, you don't need a TV licence. But bear in mind, it's very ambiguous, the law. It says live or thereabouts. There's not actually a specific time frame on it. So I'm saying 30 minutes is probably a fair length of time to wait, where you can actually regard it as being on demand. And by doing that, you've obviously moved from live shows to on demand and saved yourself £180 a year. So if you can bear a little wait to watch your favourite TV shows and watch them on demand catch up instead, you can save yourself to £15 a month. Please also remember you cannot record live TV shows yourself to watch later, because that is still classed as viewing them as they're broadcast, even though you're recording them. So the government compares the BBC to the NHS, but of course the NHS doesn't threaten you with a £1,000 fine for using it without a licence. If you've decided the £180 licensing fee isn't for you and it's worth saving, go to the official TV licensing website and file your declaration. You don't have to, but if you do so and they're still harassing you, at least you've got a legitimate reason to complain then. Now, think about what you can get and spend that £180 on that you're going to save this year, before the government finds another way to tax it out of your hands. In the meantime, stay safe, stay legal, and most importantly, stay informed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.